Yeah, we've been sort of waiting a long time for this reaction because what the Kremlin does, what Russia does over these airstrikes is absolutely crucial. It's a nuclear power. These strikes bring US forces into potential conflict, into potential direct contact with Russian forces on the ground. So it's an immensely dangerous moment. The Kremlin doesn't appear to be reacting too hysterically, although it's clearly not happy with what's taken place. This is what the Kremlin says. President Putin regards the American attacks on Syria as aggression against the sovereign state in violation of the norms of international law and under a far-fetched pretext. That's a reference to the fact that Russia's version of events doesn't agree with the idea that the Syrian government carried out a chemical weapons strike on these rebels in southern Idlib province. They're saying that the Syrian Air Force struck a storage depot in which chemical munitions that were run and owned by the rebels was attacked, and that's what caused the escape of chemicals and the incredibly terrible loss of life. And so that's what that refers to. In terms of the relationship between Russia and the United States, obviously it was already rocky, but there were hopes that it could be turned around under the Trump administration. This is obviously a nail in the coffin of that idea that there can be a reset between Russia and the United States. And the Kremlin has referred to that, saying this action is causing significant damage to Russian-American relations, particularly in the formation, they say, of any anti-terrorism international coalition, which is now obviously not going to happen in the foreseeable future between these two countries. Christine.
Лично, как считаете, кто применил химическое оружие в Сирии? И расскажите о вашей оценке ситуации, которая сложилась в связи с этим в этой стране.
Мы давно ведем дискуссию с нашими американскими партнерами по этому вопросу. Вы знаете нашу позицию. Что касается возможного применения оружия массового уничтожения, любого оружия массового уничтожения, включая химическое оружие, то наша позиция является последовательной. Мы категорические противники, мы осуждаем и, соответственно, если это будет доказано, примем консолидированное наше участие в разработке мер противодействия подобным проявлениям. Что касается данного случая, как известно, и раньше сирийское правительство обращалось к международному сообществу с просьбой проинспектировать, как они считали, применение боевиками химических средств поражения людей. Но это, к сожалению, не было сделано. Реакция последовала только 21 числа, после 21 числа, после того, как было применено в очередной раз, были применены эти средства. Но какая моя оценка? Здравый смысл говорит сам за себя. Сирийские правительственные войска наступают. В некоторых регионах они окружили повстанцев. В этих условиях давать козырь тем, кто постоянно призывает к внешнему военному вмешательству, просто дурь несусветная. Это не соответствует вообще никакой логике, да еще в день приезда наблюдателей ООН. Поэтому я убежден, что это не более чем провокация тех, кто хочет втянуть другие страны в сирийский конфликт, кто хочет добиться поддержки со стороны могущественных участников международной деятельности. Прежде всего, конечно, Соединенных Штатов. У меня в этом сомнений нет. Что касается позиции наших американских коллег, друзей, которые утверждают, что правительственные войска применили оружие массового уничтожения, в данном случае химическое оружие, то и говорят, что у них есть такие доказательства, но пусть тогда они их предъявят инспекторам ООН и в Совет Безопасности. Ссылки на то, что у них такие доказательства есть, но они секретные, они никому не могут их предоставить, не выдерживают никакой критики. Это просто неуважение к своим партнерам и к участникам международной деятельности. Если есть доказательства, они должны быть предъявлены. И если они не предъявлены, значит их нет. Ссылки на то, что это какие-то очередные перехваты каких-то переговоров, которые ничего не доказывают, не могут быть положены в основу принятия таких фундаментальных решений, как применение силы в отношении суверенного государства. Пожалуйста.
Some chemical attack that killed over 100 people. US troops fired a barrage of cruise missiles into Syrian military bases on Thursday night. This is the first direct American assault and first direct military order by the US President Donald Trump. US has also questioned Russia's backing of Assad regime. Soon after ordering of the military action, Trump targeted the Syrian regime, saying Assad used deadly chemical gas to kill many. Take a listen.
Tonight I ordered a targeted military strike on the airfield in Syria from where the chemical attack was launched. It is in this vital national security interest of the United States to prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons. There can be no dispute that Syria used banned chemical weapons, violated its obligations under the Chemical Weapons Convention, and ignored the urging of the UN Security Council.
Wael Awad, who's a senior journalist, is joining us. Mr. Awad, thanks for speaking to India Today. Can you give us more details of how many missiles have been fired and what is the location that's being targeted in Syria?
Well, there was a confirmation from the Syrian government that there was an attack on Al-Shuairat airfield, which is close to Homs city, that has been targeted, and there was extensive damage to the airfield because there was a launching of around 50 to 60 hot Tomahawk missiles by the United States on the Syrian airfield, where the military installation has been actively fighting the terrorist organization in that area.
Also, Mr. Awad, there seems to be a change in the tact of the Donald Trump administration, which has so far claimed that Syria is under a rebel group attack of ISIS. The fight has been against ISIS. Do you see the stance shifting now post the chemical attack?
Well, definitely there is, because you see, Donald Trump himself, he was accusing the previous administration of being party to the regime change policy that have been instigated by Obama administration and then followed by Hillary Clinton. And he said, I'm not for a regime change, I'm here for fighting IS. And when Tulsi Gabbard went to Syria and he met with the President Assad, she carried even enough evidence to prove that the CIA was indulged and involved in the Syrian war. So when he himself gave the news that there will be our priority is to fight IS with this, and that's what even echoed by the French foreign minister, which also the Turkey followed suit. Then suddenly you find this false flag attack on this Syria. It's an insane, it's a condemnable attack, whoever has done it. But nobody will believe for a minute that the Syrian government, who is winning conventionally, will use non-conventional methods to gain something which is not there. This is a suicidal. So whoever done this operation, he knew very well that the United States will react militarily to any action inside Syria. So they are definitely doing illegal actions against Syrian government because this is unilateral, has no backing of the UN Security Council, and this has been happening in Iraq, it happened in Libya, it happened in Syria, it happened in Yemen, it happened. So the American carries their kind of show of forces and give gesture to their own constituency, which also proved that the US president has succumbed to the US establishment.
Well, let me take this question to Lalit K. Jha, who's a senior journalist joining us from Washington as well. Mr. Jha, now 161 chemical attacks according to a report in past 6 years in Syria. Do you believe that Donald Trump's intervention would only worsen the matter?
I don't know. We have to wait and see what are the next steps he and his friends and allies in the international community are going to take, what kind of reaction the UN members what kind of reaction will come from the United Nations Security Council and other international communities, including Russia and China. In fact, he is having his own meeting with Chinese President in Mar-a-Lago, where he ordered the strike. So we have to wait and see. But initial reaction which I see from internally, I see there is a bipartisan support to his decision to carry out Inshallah strike inside Syria.
All right. We are waiting for the world leaders also to respond. No word on casualty till now. in this missile attack. 59 Tomahawk missiles have said to be fired on the Syrian province, and also waiting for a reaction from the Syrian authorities. So far, the Syrian media has called it an act of U.S. aggression.